So there are three types of major categories that you need to be aware of when writing in task 1. The first is time. The second, trends or patterns. And the third, percentages. And once you know that you have to write a particular way in these three categories, you can put your information together based upon these categories. So in time typically goes last, and you want to use specific kinds of phrases. So for example, between 1950 and 1960, as you can see, from 1950 to 1960, within a 35-year period. Now 50 to 60 here is 10 years, so you can say within a 10-year period. And that goes for any range of decade that you want to use. So for example, from the 1920s to the 1970s. You can say that, or you can say within a 50-year period. Or you can say over a period of 50 years. So that's three ways to say the same thing about one particular chart or graph. Okay? You want to talk about trends in terms of increase, decrease, and stabilization. So trends either will increase, they will decrease, and they will remain stable. And if they increase or decrease, they increase or decrease rapidly, exponentially, or slowly. We'll use vocabulary and see how that works a little bit later. The third is percentages. Now, percent comes after a number. I'm going to look here on the graph because I don't want my eyes to divert too much. Percent comes after a number. 60% of the sales were. There was a 30% increase in sales. There was a 20% decrease in sales, for example. Percentage comes after words like a, this, that. A percentage of sales declined, or this percentage of sales declined. Okay? And as the chart says here, it is usually preceded by an adjective, high, low, etc. A high percentage, the low percentage, the small percentage. So again, you want to make sure that you write and organize your ideas in terms of categories. 1, time. 2, trends, increase, decrease, how rapidly or how slowly those trends increased or decreased. And using the word percent and percentage. Percent comes after a number. Percentage comes after an adjective. High, low, small, medium. Okay? That's how you want to use those words and those categories. Now here is the way your task 1 paragraph, or task 1 essay I should say, should be organized. And it's very formulaic. It's 1 + 1 = 2. There's no need to overthink it. If you plug in the formulas the way we teach you, you will be perfectly fine. So for example, the very first sentence is a formula. This, fill in the blank, and that blank could be a bar chart, pie chart, table, line graph. So this bar chart, line graph, or table describes or gives information about. Then you add who, what, when, and where is how you, or who, what, where, when, because when is time, and time goes last when we're talking about line graphs. So who, what, where, when. Okay? Next, paragraph 1, as you can see, you should write 2 to 3 paragraphs. And in this paragraph, we use specific numbers, we compare and we contrast, and we highlight startling features. Startling features means those aspects of the pie chart, line graph, or bar chart that are clearly visible. For example, you may have a very large gap in categories where one part of the bar chart is extremely high and one is low. That is a startling feature because you can immediately notice that there are differences in and within those categories. That is what we mean by startling features. Is there a dramatic increase or decrease in trends or patterns? Paragraph 2 is you want to report information and you do not include every single detail, but you want to include the general range of motion in terms of how the patterns increase, decrease over specific periods of time, and what that means for the overall chart. That's very, very important. We'll show you how to do that in the next video.